LeBron game, and they couldn't. It still wasn't
game
enough.
4.
Yeah,
Game 4.
And it wasn't enough. And so there's really no realistic, logical basketball reason to pick them. Here's why I disagree with your theory, Nick.
Yeah.
Because I get what you're saying, but I think the Nuggets have one weakness, and it's not their depth to me or lack of depth. It's the possibility
of Jamal
Murray getting hurt.
Okay, that's true.
No, because they cannot win the championship. They cannot win the West without Jamal Murray.
That's correct.
I mean, as great as Jokic is, Jamal Murray is critical. He always plays better in the playoffs, significantly better. And they must have it. And my thing is this, Nick, he's back, and he's been hot. 24 points a game and like 25 minutes a game since he came back from injury. Last 5 or 6 games, I think it's 5 games. He's shooting it like 47% from 3, well over 50 overall. And obviously we don't want to see anybody get hurt. But I think the chances,
it's on the table.
because he's not been able to make it through all the postseasons. And so if he were to get hurt, it's probably later in the playoffs versus right away. And that's why I don't agree with that.
No, so that, by the way, that is almost assuredly correct. I am operating from the unrealistic place, but the place that I think we almost always do these predictions of. Everyone's as healthy as they are right now.
Okay.
You know, and so
he's going to stay healthy.
He stays healthy. So you said there's no basketball reasons.
Well, he said it.
So no, and then you
was like, yeah, definitely.
Was an amen from the choir. So I would like to just posit a few questions.
Sure.
To Mr. Denver Nugget. I mean, 8
in a row.
But you've been Mr. Denver Nugget all year.
Yeah.
On your lightly followed Twitter account, you have written dozens of times, no one's beating Denver in a 7-game series. Wild. So I know you've been staying up late watching these games because you send that tweet the moment the game ends, and then I think you pass out immediately
Sometimes
after.
It's a bit of a burden.
Yeah, exactly. He just wants to send the tweet. If you were to rank Denver by how they've been playing by month, where do you think this last month of basketball is?
Well,
they had the one seed. They won 4 of their last 5.
They had the 1 seed on the line against a Spurs team that was not even playing 2 of its 5 best players. They don't have a lot of great players.
Well,
they're up 17 in the 4th quarter, and they lost that game. In a game with real implications where the Nuggets are playing everyone, slight concern.
Go ahead. Here's counterpoint.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Why?
You know what? I didn't like it.
Oh,
I loved it.
Oh, now we're why? Tell us.
It's a
wake-up call.
A little wake-up call.
Okay, maybe.
Mike Malone was like, guess what? We have to play defense, and we have to rebound. I think they gave up 8 offensive rebounds in the 4th quarter. Guess what? Any team can beat you.
No,
a team with a star can come down and take over. And they took the foot off their gas, it's the Spurs.
No, and they
lost, and I think it was kind of good.
And also, Nick, depending on how far you want to go back, last month, last 2 months, they have the best record in the league since the All-Star break. Them and Boston, 21-6. And the games Murray's played, they're 16-3. That's a higher win percentage than even Boston, which has been running through the league. So they've been actually playing great basketball.
I agree with that. And the losses, you can be like, one was in overtime to Phoenix.
But this was a bad one.
But this was a bad one because what was on the line, which was the 1 seed, which I think mattered to them. But I'm going to give you one other basketball reason, and this is why I think it is critical that if the Lakers have any chance of beating Denver, that it has to happen now. Brew, what did you call this series last year?
A close sweep.
A close sweep.
And it was.
So I don't know if
others call it a gentleman's sweep, even though
gentleman's sweep is fine.
No, I know. They say because it was so close.
Okay, so here's
I'm just like, they don't want to give me my props.
And you, I think correctly if I'm remembering right, identified when we were talking about the games last year that it appeared at the end of these games LeBron was out of gas, and the numbers support that. If we can show you LeBron last year, he's rolling. All systems go, quarters 1 through 3, and was spent quarters in 4th quarter.
Okay.
What's the other story of LeBron last season? His worst 3-point shooting year in the regular season in 15 years, and in the playoffs, second worst of his career. If you remember, Wildes was saying, give him the Ben Simmons treatment.
Yeah, right. He was like 1 for 20.
Right. I'm not saying he's going to keep it up necessarily, but what's the story of LeBron this year? His best 3-point shooting year. And I'm going to add one other point. Jamal Murray is a great postseason performer. We all know that. What he did in those conference finals, and we can show it to you, is aberrant even by his standards. Every other series of his career, he's awesome. 24, 5, and 6 on those splits. Last year, he had the best series of his career. So the point I'm making is this. LeBron, they were close, good games until the Lakers' best player wore down in the fourth quarter. I don't think he's as likely to wear down when it's not every other day like it is in the conference finals, and it's not after 2 rounds of playoffs, and he's not nursing a
bad foot,
whatever it was. He couldn't hit a 3, and Jamal Murray played the series of his life. Now, the counterpoint obviously is, and so maybe if that's right, it'll be 4-1 this time or 4-2 this time. I get that. But I think there are a lot of factors that if this ends up being the matchup, you could see it go very similarly as last year. But if LeBron is just a touch fresher and Jamal Murray is just a touch less incandescent, those games turn.
Murray, though, has had a lot of great series.
Oh,
his numbers are down both regular season and playoffs because early in his career the numbers weren't as prolific. I'll give you this, though, as a support for what you said about LeBron. Because he's been cold this month from 3. I think he's like 31%, something like that lately.
Regression. Don't you?
Well, he's 41% for the season.
Right, but what you see is, and I think this is why he's shooting such a high percentage, and I think it's wise of LeBron, he is attacking the rim relentlessly. He's shooting like 3 3-pointers this month a game. That's low, and it was 4.5 the last month in March. So he's dialing down the 3-pointers and attacking the rim more, which is what I think he should do. And Denver doesn't shoot a lot of threes. They're actually last in the league in 3-point attempts. The Lakers are third to last. So the fact that if LeBron's not draining a ton of threes, that's okay because Denver's not going to be draining a ton of threes either, and he should keep attacking the rim.
Hey, Josh, you know what I'd like to do? Take Nick's graphic, and let's look at the Denver-LA splits. And I wonder if it's less just LeBron wearing down and more of the altitude. Ooh,
it was
once you're in that thin mountain air.
But the other thing,
Denver, and he had to play so well and hard to just keep them near the Nuggets.
And
the Nuggets are great fourth quarter team.
The one thing, and I'm not the injuries, it's part of sports, I get it. But the one place where LeBron's foot injury last playoffs really showed up is it seemed like he only had 3 or 4 hard drives to the basket in him a game until that game 4 against Denver when he just emptied the clip because it's probably the last game of the year. The last month, man, he is relentlessly. It feels like it's the healthiest he has been going into a postseason since the championship year. That's all I'm saying.
Even though I think the Pelicans are going to win, you convince me the Lakers can get a game.
Okay, got it.
I don't think it'll be a sweep this year.
Yeah, there we go.
Might even get 2.
Wow. If you can get 2, you can get 3. And if you can get 3, it comes down to a game 7. Anything can happen. You're getting there, bro.
Here are the odds to win the West. Denver at 1. Then it's the Thunder and the Clippers tied at 2. Mavs, Suns, Wolves. Lake Show, Pelicans, Warriors, and then Sacktown way far down there. Who's the most dangerous threat to the champs, bro?
Look, it's all about the matchups. I mean, obviously, Denver is a team you feel like can work through any of these matchup challenges. But my team, we know I picked the Clippers to get to the conference finals, and we're going to talk about them a little later. But if they're healthy, I like the Clippers. If they're healthy, all right? But we'll talk about that. All right. But I'm going to say, and I think the Lakers, look, if the Lakers somehow were to beat Denver, they immediately become, I don't think, just the Western Conference favorite. I think the league favorite because I think they would beat Boston.
Wow.
Yeah.
Boston?
I'm not. Wow. Look, I picked Boston.
That's a great take.
If they get,
Fantasy
well, now I don't think they're beating Denver, but if they do, you don't think people are going to be saying they're going to win it?
Well,
if they beat
I'll
Denver,
tell you this much, I will be.
Yeah, if they beat Denver, and